Good afternoon. Firstly, I'd like to thank Designscape for giving us the opportunity to share our knowledge and insights. My name is Markus Pesendorf. I'm the practice area leader for retail and brand in the APME region for Gensler. Gensler is an architecture firm of roughly 5,500 employees, a global firm, and we've been in this region for approximately 30 years. It's depending on which office you look at. When we tackle any issue, no matter big or small, the first thing we do is ask our clients. Here is some of the things they recently said. All of our plans have been accelerated. Change needs to happen now. So what we discovered is that the issues that came up now during the COVID-19 situation wasn't actually new. Most of them were there before. They just have been overlooked or neglected. So COVID-19 has really acted as an accelerator. And also, how do we rethink the role of shop windows in the context of queuing time? Because now people are not allowed to crowd our shopping environments. So when they're queuing outside, how does the window talk to them or interact with them? How do we create and communicate customer safety messaging? That is very important. We've been asked that many times, and also not to panic, not to so to give the customers the feeling of security and a calm expression of it all. We are looking at a shift in mindset from product to service, from consumer needs to customer demands. What I get to into this a little bit later, but we really saw a shift to focus really on service and the experience. And the product has less of an importance or a less of a functional role. How do we add convenience shopping back into the store experience is a very key question, especially now that we notice dwelling time is reduced. People spend less time in the store or they know already what they want to buy when they come into the store. So everything like checkout, the selection and browsing time has reduced, but still browsing should be all made much more convenient. We need to invest in the service and the safety of our clients. Absolutely. There's no question about that. How can we analyze and replan existing store layouts to be seen as seasonal versus permanent changes? Exactly a point that we're doing a lot with our customers now. We are looking at one-way systems in the stores. We're looking at different zoning, how many people can be in what space, and also uh, being aware that the store is actually a playground of experimentation rather than a set in stone environment. And the last point here is really important. We've seen a major shift in this over the last few years, really. And as the role of the shop changes, so must the leasing practices and the portfolio strategy. That's a conversation we want to really have between the landlords and the tenants because how we create new brand clusters or how do we do the tenant mix within like retail centers or other mixed use environments is really, really important to drive revenue, which we're all interested in, to be honest. So when I received the hybrid shopping destinations topic, I was really happy. This is exactly what we are discussing with our clients on a daily basis. The situation, as we all know, is changing weekly. Even before COVID-19, we realized that retail is in a challenging situation. It was back then that we developed the Design Experience Index tool. And this tool allows us to evaluate any space and the behavior of people using the space we create. So as you can see, we understand there are 5 modes that users are in when they enter the space. The task mode is obviously the most direct one. And that's, for example, I want to buy milk, I go to the store, I pick up the milk and I pay. This mode is also the easiest to transfer to online with pickup or delivery function attached. The one we currently miss the most, and especially I may add in Asia because this is it's the social mode, right? That's to do with hanging out with friends, family, and it is often done without purchase as a background of this. So we really just want to hang out, exchange stories, and talk to each other. The next two, discovery and entertainment. Actually, we found the foundation of a modern form of education. These are stimulated by curiosity and a positive spirit. Aspiration is fueled by dreams and is mainly found in luxury segment of retail. So the insights from the experience index tool made our work evolve. And we have changed from designing spaces to actually putting the consumer in the center of attention. The audience used to come to the store to interact with brands, and today we take our brands everywhere, really. So what consumers see is something more like this, or what they interact with, or how they talk. So these are the interactions, each touch points the consumers have with brands. So the digital has made it possible to much easier compare prices, features, get opinions, read comments, like, dislike, share, and in many cases also to return goods, which we know is much higher in online purchases than when bought in a physical store, due to the higher product satisfaction rate in the physical environment. 73% of consumers use multiple channels to shop. So you have to be aware that no matter where they are, again, think of in-store, on the go, or right now as we are shop from home, work from home. All the activities are pretty much done from home. And 94%, no, 49, sorry, percent of consumers note that not being able to try a product is one of their least favorite aspects of online shopping. So these are really indicators that the physical store is relevant and it will stay relevant for a time to come. So some might remember the 020 scare we had a few years back, where we all thought now shopping is moving online entirely. Well, what we actually found is that it's more of an O plus O, so online plus offline. So a well-curated story that is consistent across all the touch points is key to a good performing brand. This means that online touch points can help offline engagement and vice versa. Those online tools are, as you all know, probably apps, websites, where we can find information about stores, services, and product details. Third-party shopping platforms are another battleground for brands. The senses here address are sight and sound foremost. So social media plays an important role as an educator. And then, people use that to find out about the brands, the products, performance. And it's kind of PR, as in word of mouth, but also from brand owner side, it can be used for profiling and trend setting and testing. We look at online more of a data usage platform. So compared to a data collection platform, yes, you can collect data about online shopping behavior, but here it's more about to educate the brand owners, to guide them in terms of future development and help decision making and identify marketing key points. Its counterpart, the offline touch points, are sensory. So all five senses are addressed and curated for a holistic experience. This, in a way, gives offline already an advantage over online, and it's a lot of technology is working towards to actually get it closer to the certain sensory experiences, but we are still in advantage in the offline environment. In Spaces, we can collect data and behavior through sensors, beacons that we install in our environments. We also talk to people because they often give us the best feedback and it's human centric. So you can see here from the Taobao Choice store that we did in Hangzhou in China. It was the first offline store that Taobao did. Uh, One point is that the guy scanning his Alipay at the machine, he gets a free bag, but at the same time, we are picking up his behavior and he becomes like an information carrier for us, and we can watch his performance in the store and also where he goes, what products he picks up, and there's beacons and videos all out throughout the space. So that's a good example of real interaction of online and offline. We're also using the data collected to redesign, restructure, align certain areas and to improve the performance that we have. These insights actually drove us to look beyond the physical space and into timelines of engagement with programming of our environments, helping brands to create events calendars. These calendars not just seasonal, they're not just monthly. Some cases, as for example the coffee roastery we did in Shanghai, it's all every 20 minutes something is happening. So we're curating the space with activities. So and the data encouraged us to look at scalability of brands. That's very important because even the product itself is a space of engagement. So as mentioned earlier, social is a big factor in our Asian cultures, the group of friends, but also think about dating and the pressure of society to get together and the different possibilities that we have there. We're now developing spaces of maximum flexibility. They are adaptable, scale-wise, brand partnerships forming in one space, space sharing, uh, COVID-19 behavior regulations. As you know, there's scale-wise, how many people can be in there, one-way systems throughout the store, and the traffic, touchless points, checkouts, everything. So the last to be addressed here is theatrical brand performance. And again, brands are looking more and more to tell a story directly to the consumer in displays, in the public space, POPs. So these are all part of the marketing behavior that we notice. So after all these identified opportunities, what must the industry to consider to address these challenges of the future? A key is to understand a cross-channel experience. Build a relationship with the consumer and be available for them anywhere. What does your brand look like in various environments and to a variety of consumers? Understand the influencer phenomenon and different lifestyles they have. I might add here the work from home consumer centric workplace shift is a key impact on our work coming in the near future. And think about multifunctional workplaces rather than the work from home or sort of more of a cross pollination between practice areas of work, retail, hospitality, and different factors. No matter if people are in the store, on the go, on the online store, or in social media, it's very important to be in touch with them. What Decathlon does, for example, is training its indoor staff to become digitally savvy and upgrade them to advisors on brand online anytime for the customers to be reachable. And lastly, a trend we notice right now in awareness of your neighborhood, hyperlocal. So we are drawing circles closer and closer to our home, support local economy, outdoor sports in your proximity, seasonal rather than global menus in the restaurant, and to discover the neighborhood special features. So we are in a moment of crisis, but there will be an after, as we all know. So the efforts we are making right now um, is to now to help us to define next generation of retail. So I would suggest to use this time to look at your strategies, focus your efforts where it makes most sense, and experiment. Now is the time for trial and error because now things happening very fast. So it's really the time to do this right now. When you talk about review strategies, we want to relook at the four key issues here. So look at the operations in the new circumstances, supply chain from far or near. How can you optimize the new resources? What does service mean from today onwards? Touchless has a big impact, and then safety and well-being. So there will be a behavior change in hospitality and in the service. Several clients have come to us and given us the task to find their relevance in the community. This is where we pick up the conversation, as earlier mentioned, with the real estate, and something brands need to discuss with landlords, how to create like-minded brand clusters. So stay relevant. What is the purpose of these brand clusters within the community? And look at your current formats. Yes, go digital or go bust is the key, but we can see the results already of that. So we also see that online plus offline is a winning strategy, and that needs to be told as a consistent story. For the focus your efforts is really don't panic, stay calm, identify the immediate and long-term issues and be prepared for similar situations arising. Then when you have identified the issues, do design sprints. These are short bursts of ideations to generate solutions. So they are not big projects or big, so it's really short burst design stints. And we have also created some tools here to inspire and to get things going because right now things are changing very quickly. Look at communication of your brand and the communication about safety, trust comes from the top. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. So often it's the CEOs going on the front line now and talking to customers and give them a feeling of safety. Don't necessarily change your entire format. Retrofit, as we see here, is look at how cost-controlled retrofits can make a big impact. What's happening mostly in the spaces is actually the change of behavior and to guide this behavior with certain guidance of signage and how to go back into those spaces. It's not going to be a total revamp of every single space, but there will be adjustments of certain details. Technology is, for the most part, invisible. It helps us to complement a consistent cross-channel experience. And lastly, prototype and evaluate. Again, this is the time to do that. And our design technology team, for example, can help develop digital twins with which we can test environments before they are built, make adjustments and optimize them. And then once they're constructed, we are able to study consumer behavior in the space, and we are able to be agile about the format and about the brand environment. So we are already programming certain elements inside that can be flexible and adjusted, especially when it comes to rollout retails and flagship stores. As mentioned earlier, the Experience Index and a handful of other tools, by the way, can help to re-evaluate existing spaces and build a foundation for improvement. And lastly, always evaluate. No rest for the wicked. Consumer behavior, circumstances, markets, and technology are changing. So always stay in a kind of state of beta. Thank you very much.